Okie dokie nerds. Vintage challenge showcase thing. Vintage showcase challenge. One of those. Slightly different take on Squeevine this week. Instead of using Bazaar of Baghdad to get cards into our graveyard, we're going to use Oath of Druids. 2 mana enchantment, you may have heard of it. And basically, if your opponent has more creatures than you, you get to put a bunch of cards into your graveyard, and that's quite cool. One other side effect of that is you'll end up with an Atraxa Grand Unifier into play, and you'll then try and use the cards you draw off of Atraxa to convert the game, or at least get yourself another trigger of Oath of Druids. To complement Oath and other ways to get Atraxa into play, we've got 4 Show and Tells. There's also a Flash, which puts Atraxa directly into our graveyard. So that's what we're going to run in the showcase. Basically, I'm at a point with Squee where I don't think, in these the big events where you get loads of pick up and play people, I don't think Squee's great into a meta game of whatever it's going to be, 15-20% Lurrus, that sort of thing. I don't know, just I can't beat the Lurrus decks. I've tried a bunch of different things. I can't come up with a good way to deal with it. So I'm running Oath. Yeah, that's the whole story. So we'll see how we get on. I'm not the most proficient Oath pilot, but I'm also not a complete stranger to the deck and the format. So we'll see how we do. I'll catch you for round 1 in a mo. Okie dokie kids, round 1. We're up against this player. No previous vintage results on Goldfish, but they play a lot. They seem to do a lot of winning, and they've revealed themselves a Lurrus. So I think I'm going to keep this hand. Looks like I'm able to sneak an Oath through at some point. We'll see what they come with. And I think we're going to be able to leverage a lot today, or hope to be able to leverage a lot today, from the fact that my Goldfish results just say Squeevine for 6 pages or whatever. Maybe not that many pages, but I don't know. But you know what I mean. This is one of the downsides of me. Well, we won't sneak anything through that. They bobbled us. This is one of the downsides, right? Is I don't really know these matchups, so I'm back to being a person who plays a lot of Magic in a format that's a bit different. So, like I know Vintage well, but I know Vintage from one very specific angle. Is what I mean by that. So what do they see? A Mystical Tutor, sure. I'm gonna play a Misty. And then we'll pass to them. I do need to find my deck list, actually. So as it transpires, I do in fact run a basic island. That's pretty cool. So let's see. Okay, well, fuck that noise then. Where do we want to go from here? I guess we can just take a draw step. Do I just YOLO an Oath here? Like, I can't develop mana in any way. I think I do. I think I'm going to fetch an island. Or I'll fetch a trop probably, right? No, I could just fetch basic island and force them to strip it. Play a Veseiju. Send in an Oath of Druids. I've got Force of Will behind to push this through. And I'll probably pitch my Show and Tell, I think. Force Negation, pitching, Dig Through Time. Cool, so I'll Force of Will and I'll pitch Show and Tell. So I've got an Oath of Druids. They're yet to reveal what colours they are. And the reason I pitch Show and Tell is I think if I ever go back to 3 mana, Oko is going to be better. And if I get strip wasted here, my Trop's going to Mystical for an Ancestral and get us back into the game that way. So yeah, that was my thinking. My thinking, very well, maybe flawed, but that was my thinking, that's what I did, and this is where we're at. I can also just top deck a Orchard at any moment and end the game. So strip my island. And you're going to waste my Besaiger as well. Lotus. Do I want to force a negation a Lotus here? I think so. I think I will. Just keep them off their mana. And then I think just drawing lands would be good here. Lands, Mox, and yada yada yada. Orchard. Strip mine. Interesting. I'm just going to play the strip mine and pass. Now they've got to choose to waste my strip or my saga. Or my strip or my Besaiger. My strip represents a card that's going to beat their saga. And they've missed a land drop and they're not yet cycling a Lorien Revealed. Obviously they've got a second main phase that might just be passing to. Nope, so they've just missed that. So that's kind of dope for the home team here. And I'll wait before I cast my activate my strip. Oh god, I need my deck list again. I've got no fucking idea what I'm doing. So if I mystical for something, I just get stripped out of it. So I think I'll strip here. If they cycle Lorien, they cycle Lorien. If they waste my Besaiger, they waste my Besaiger. They waste my Besaiger. I'll float a mana for no evident reason. And now I'll play a Trop. And I think on their upkeep on mystical. I don't know, I don't feel like getting flustered. But then actually if I get flustered then my Ancestral's getting flustered, isn't it? So no plays. So they might just have Force of Wills, etc, etc, but that's fine by me. We can just take it slow. I'm going to grab myself an Ancestral Recall. I'll draw that for the turn and I'll cast it in their upkeep to play around their negation. So they've got to have exactly Force of Will, and we haven't seen one of those from them yet. But we will play around what we can play around. So upkeep beats all their mana, it counterspells and their negations, so it's going to be exactly Force of Will, and it wasn't. So looks like we're going to get our mana base underneath us quite soon. We've just got to sort of fade this turn and then we can start winning battles, and instead we can just win the game. Opponent picks them up, and then yeah, I should have really preloaded that Oath sideboard guide. Really. Okay, that sideboarding guide is notoriously difficult to understand. I think I'm going to bring in a couple of Thoughtseize. +2 Thoughtseize, +1 Oko. Blue, white, +2 Dismember. We don't know, so maybe I'll just hedge 1 Dismember. Lesser Mana Crypt. Lesser Petal, lesser Show, apparently. I'm reading the wrong line. +2 Thoughtseize. Blue, white, +1 Dismember. So I need to drop a Mystical. There we go. Submit. This is a combination of 2 sideboard guides. Something rough like this is where we're at. This hand doesn't look remotely keepable. This hand looks exceptionally keepable. So I'll keep this and I'll bottom an Atraxa and say done. And we'll see what they come with. We've got Mox Orchard Oath here with Negation blue card and Ancestral Recall behind as well. So we'll see how that does for us. They bauble us for the turn alongside developing a Saga. So they draw back up to 6 cards. We draw a Vampiric. So do we want to push? I guess so. I'm going to cast an Emerald. I'm going to play an Orchard. I'm going to cast an Oath of Druids. And if they've not got protection for it, they've not got protection for it, and we win quickly. If they have got protection for it, then we'll... Oof. So maybe they've got Containment Priest. Interesting. What does that mean? Containment Priest, Graphics, walk into cage, maybe? Cycles Elorian. Okay, that's fine. That's going to tell us actually what we're against. Underground Sea. I don't know if we saw that last game, did we? I don't think we saw any mana producing lands from them. Well, this Strip in the Waste, but we kind of already knew. So we'll be negating a Time Walk here, so they can't get a cage. Of note, until we shuffle, one of our attractors is known on the bottom of our deck. Time Vault. I guess I've got to fight that. Have I got to fight that? I think I will fight that. I don't know if I'm supposed to. Because like Lotus Time Walk browns me here as well, doesn't it? Okay, so it goes to combat. And then upkeep. We Oath target you. Yes, please. I went through not many cards. We get an Atraxa into play. Alongside that Atraxa, we will take... Oh, that's interesting. I guess Underground Sea is just fine. Atraxa's good. Flash and Jet, I guess. And then we go to our draw step. We draw a Bayou. So I'm going to go... I could have vamped for Time Walk there, actually. They're on 5 cards. I'm going to play Underground Sea, and I'm just going to Sorcery Speed Flash and put this into play and say no. And that's cool that it didn't ask me which legend rule to use. I'll take Sapphire, Thoughtseize, Force of Will. Actually, Force of Will's not doing much. I'll just take a misstep, I think. And Trop, Oko, Oath. Jesus Christ, this is good. Let's say done. So now I can not quite set up... I can't quite set up Vamp for Walk, but I can certainly Thoughtseize them. And we are up a match in round 1 of the Vintage Showcase Challenge. So let's go. Okay, round 2, we're up against turn 1 Tinker. Most recently seen on Bug, but a bunch of Dredge results. So no Lurrus revealed. We'll keep this hand. Bit of permission, Ancestral, Oath, yada yada yada. So looks good to me. And they've got a Bazaar. So it looks like they're going to be dredging against us here today. 7 card dredge hand is tough. Hollow one is fine. So I'd like to draw a Mox of some variety. So main deck dredge rarely has the wastelands in it, whereas the Squee decks do. That's quite clearly the worst draw in the deck, I think. So what's going to be our main deck plan against dredge? I imagine it's going to be putting in a 7/7 lifelinker. Yeah, and possibly a bit of Boseiju too. So let's just Misty and pass the turn. We just have to stay alive until turn 3 here, basically. I'm not expecting there to be any sort of wastelands or shit like that, but I am still going to... Oh, there is a wasteland main deck. Interesting. Interesting news. Okay. So main deck wasteland. Does that change how I want to play this Ancestral? Do we want to upkeep this Ancestral? I think I'm leaning end step this Ancestral then. Okay, yeah. They're going to dredge again. They dredge a troll. Let's pop this out for you nerds at home. So they dredge a troll. Icarids. 2 Force of Wills and a Force Negation have gone. Retriggers the Amalgam. So we could die on the faster side here. If we find Lotus or Show off of this Ancestral, we'll be able to DT for a Show and Tell. Because I imagine there's a chance this Ancestral's too... This Oath of Druids is too slow. If we're going to 13 now, taking 7... 1 Icarid is 10... Yeah, so if I fetch, I'm dead next turn. Which is not ideal. So I'm just gonna... How many of those is there? There's just one, right? Yeah, there's just one, but it's just triggered a bunch of times. So I'm going to fetch Island Ancestral myself. Oh no, I can fetch any land, right? Because if I get wasted, I just die anyway. So the graveyard's already good enough to kill us. Let's just get basic Island, and that way we're like kind of revealing what we're doing somewhat. Right, so there's a Show and Tell. So I can Orchard DT Show. So maybe I was supposed to collect. Maybe I was supposed to go and get myself a Underground Sea, so that we're giving them less like pressure. But I think if this gets through, we should be good. I'll get Lotus. I'll cast Lotus. And I'll cast Show and Tell. Do you have a negation? Or force? Nope. So that could be good for us. I get a 6/6 Grave Troll. Okay. I get Jet, Walk, Force, Atraxa, C, I guess. Done. My Jet can't cast my... Not cast, but can't play Boseiju. I can't play another land. So Atraxa blanks the 3 Narcs and the Hollow one whilst it blocks the Grave Troll. So I would take 4 overall. So we just need them to not hit quite as many chills this turn. It's going to be close. I'm going to discard an Orchard, an Oath. Am I discarding Oath here? I don't know if I am. This is close, I'm not sure. So if I block Grave Troll, blank these guys, take 7, I get a 5, and then I get back up to 12, and then fuck knows where we're at then. I'll discard the house. The house is not doing anything for us this good game. So on their upkeep, They get to activate Bazaar of Baghdad. This isn't the best way to display this nonsense, but they get another Narcomoeba trigger. There's 2 more amalgams down there. So they've got Griefs, Icarids. One of their Icarids is coming back this turn. They'll need like main deck snapback, I guess. Now I've got Force and Force, so that's not going to work. They really needed to hit a bunch of chills. I think they needed 2 chills to beat us just here. They hit 0 of them, so they'll have another Dredge though. They've got another 5 cards to look at. I think 2 chills is good, but they've got 26 cards to hit 2 chills in. Obviously they're making a bigger and bigger board state as we go on, but my Time Walk, I believe, will lock this up if we get there. So discarded a chill to hand size just now, is what just happened. So there's only 2 chills in the next, 2 chills in the deck and 2 chills remaining. I think they have to hit them both right now, but we'll click through all these triggers, then they'll dredge in a Stinkweed Imp. Their board's gone too wide for my graveyard thing. So opponent's upkeep. Yeah, I think I block the troll. I blank these. I blank everything on the left. Then I'm taking 6. They're going to Noxious Revival a Creeping Chill. So I guess I negate the Noxious. So I agree that 2 chills is lethal. Is their last card a second Noxious? So opponent's paying costs. Noxious to chill again. Okay, so two Noxious to call it a day. We go to draw step and I think they've got to hit both. They hit 1. So I go to 9. And if I've got any mathematical skills, then I will survive this Alpha Strike by blocking the Grave Troll. If I haven't got any math skills, we'll go to game 2. So move to blockers, block the Troll. Damage. I go to 2. Sweet. Turns out I can count. And now I'm going to walk myself into a much more reasonable board position. We don't need their graveyard for now, so that can fuck off. And they've got some triggers. And we're going to get a bunch of cards, right? Because we're going to get to walk and oath. So they've got 1 card in hand, which I imagine is that Stinkweed Imp. By imagine, I mean I know it's that Stinkweed Imp. So let's Time Walk. Let's go Ruby. Play a Boseiju. Play an Oath. And attack for 7. So I'm going to gain 14 across these 2 attacks. Opponent's going to go down to 8. Do I want to? I don't think I need to Bink Bazaar now. I think their graveyard's stocked enough that Bazaar's not doing anything. And I've got a whole nother turn to draw some cards and find something to do with. Use Oath's ability. Yes, please. I'd love to. So a bunch of cards went away. I'll keep this Attract so that it can attack, please. And my trigger goes off. So I think Sapphire's fine. I think Oko's good. And then Brainstorm. Oath, I guess, why not? And a Forbidden Orchard, why not? So we'll say done there. And I'll draw for the turn. I'll draw a strip mine. Okay, so strip mine means I don't have to screw around with Beseiju. So we'll just shoot that. Now we'll go to combat and go back up to 16 here. They clearly do have a board state. And I think I'm just going to elk my ruby. Can I brainstorm first? Yeah. I surely can. So I'll put back Orchard C. They're not casting spells, so the Force of Will doesn't really matter. Let's cast this, and then we'll Oko, Elka, Ruby. Fuck me, Modo's struggling. And that's just another blocker at that point, right? And we can Beseiju the Hollow One. So I feel like we're going to be okay, but I haven't counted at this point. But I get to blank all 4 Narcs and an Amalgam. I get to trade with an Amalgam. Yeah, no, I don't think I can lose. So, opponent's draw step. The thing I need to be careful of at the moment is my Modo is lagging really hard, so I need to not click through blockers, basically. Okay, so they chill me down to 13, themselves back up to 11. How many tracks have we been through so far today? So I think I've got another trigger for free. So all the chills have gone at this point. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, only 3 chills have gone. Sorry. Oh really? Only 3? I thought we'd done 4. So opponent's hand is going to be Stinkweed Imp, I imagine. And they're just working out the combat repercussions, I think. And are you going after Oko? I imagine you've got to be going after me, right? I don't know how you can not. Okay, so opponent's been in the tank for about 3 minutes now. So deep in the tank I'm actually considering starting Modo again to make sure it's not my connection, you know. Okay, opponent's passed priority. Just after I said that, I didn't have to restart Modo. So we're going to move to combat, see if they think they've got a winning line through combat. They just send the squad. So we're going to block Amalgam, and we're going to Beseiju the Hollow One. I know they're holding back a spirit. Don't know why. Yeah, that was a really long tank by the opponent, so I assume they still think they've got winning chances in this spot. I don't know if Beseiju is going to blow that out of the water, or if they're just trying to. I haven't actually calculated anything. They do say maths is for blockers, but in this spot I completely disagree. I will continually block your biggest creature until my life total reaches 0. That's how I'm approaching this, and I'll let the computer work out whether that is in fact enough. So I'm not sure what's gained by holding back the spirit. Oh, I guess it's a blocker for my dudes, right? So let's press OK, and we'll block Amalgam. Okay, and then I'll Beseiju your Hollow One. We've got a legendary creature, so it only costs 1. Okay. They get a 1/1 that can't attack this turn. We trade off some dudes. I imagine they're going to get these creatures back, but I think it doesn't matter. So I go to 8, taking 5 that turn. 2 Ichorids die. No amalgams come in. I think I can trigger Oath again this turn, and then we'll think about whether we really need to in the future. So yes, I'd like to use Oath. Yeah, so I'll keep my attacking Atraxa. Ponder seems fine. Is there anything I can particularly vamp for in this spot that's going to be... There's going to be a tool good. I don't think so. Walk's gone. We've already walked. I've used both my Besagus already. Yeah, no, I don't think so. So I'm just going to take Ponder, Delta, Force of Will. Yeah, I'll have an Oath. Done. And then we'll go to our draw step. That's a Misty. Okay. So we'll Ponder. And we'll put back Misstep, Atraxa, Oko, Shuffle your library, no. And now I'll play a Trop. I'll get him for some damage. And then am I? So they're going to block with the Narc, which is fine. Oh no, they're not going to block with the Narc. Going to 4. Yep, they block with the Narc, we go to 15. Their army is going to slowly shrink here, I think. Well, they'll start getting Ichorids. And then, do I want to stand up a Moxjet? I'm not sure if I do. My Bayou's gone. My Underground Sea's gone. But my black's all for tutors, so it doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, let's stand up a Moxjet then. And I could play another Oko. I could play another Oath. I've only got 12 cards left at this point, so let's just stop there, I think. We'll discard an Oath of Druids. Are they still able to go around me? That's the next question. Two Ichorids come in. 3 Chills in exile. 2 Amalgams trigger. Two Amalgams trigger again. And then Dredge step. Or draw step. They dredge again. So they've hit their other 2 Ichorids. They haven't hit their chill. So they're still into it. Maybe you wait a turn. No, because I'm just gaining 7 every time, aren't I? And it's impossible. So we're not going to trigger Oath anymore, even though there's an Atraxa close to the top of our deck. By that I mean on top of our deck. So they get some dudes back into play. Yeah, I should have shuffled actually. So they've got a bunch of Amalgams, a bunch of Ichorids. And we're just really reliant on 7/7 attackers at this point. Target you. Okay. No, I won't use Oath. I know I'm drawing an Atraxa, but I just don't think there's much else for us to do. So let's play this. Stand up a Sapphire. I'm going to play a new Oko. And I'll keep the 1 on 4, and I'll make myself a food token, which will either be for next turn or it will be for gaining life if we need to. But we're now at 22. They've got less cards than us, So they're going to deck first. They block with a Narc. This is all fine. And I'm not sure if this is a winning proposition for them at this point, but they seem pretty into playing it out, so that's all good. Oof. Magic Online is having a go of it today. I think it's going to be a restart in between this round and the next one. So at some point they run out of Icarid food as well. Draw step. Are they still dredging? I guess you dredge until you find your last chill, right? Well, you've only got 11 cards, so you've not really got much left. So there's the chill. I go to 19, you go to 14. 6 cards left for the opponent. And combat. The whole squad. The whole squad and nothing but the squad. So I will block an amalgam, which will cancel amalgam in the tokens. Okay, no, I keep the tokens back. Cool. So blocking 1 amalgam blocks 2 amalgams and a Narc. I'm just going to block all 3 amalgams, I think. Yeah, this isn't close to lethal. So block. Have they got an amalgam in yard? No. Block, block, block. So we take 14, we gain 7. And then we'll stand up a food token and keep playing this game forevermore. Opponent's only got 6 cards, so we're just on stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, basically. So that's cool. The Narcs are in the yard. I'll target you and say no. Nope. Okay. Player Delta. Get in for combat. Opponent goes to 7, and they can't gain any more life this game. And now I'll stand up a food token as a blocker and pass again. And they've conceded the game. Okie dokie. So Sarah's Emissary I like. Sphinx I like over House. Can't imagine this is a portal matchup, but let's go check some sideboard guiding. Okay, so quick look on the sideboard guides, and they seem to like the portal. So we're bringing in the portal, we're bringing in Sphinx and Sarah's Emissary, and then Force Negation and Oko seem to be the bad cards in this sort of matchup. So this is where we're going to be, and let's get down there for game 2. So on the draw against Dredge, that was a close one, because they did have that very quick start. This hand looks unkeepable, so let's go down to 6. And this hand is certainly something. So I'll keep this. I can't beat much. This bottom vamp. So turn 1, it's going to be Mystical for Show and Tell. Lotus, Show and an Emissary. And then if we draw a black source, we might be able to come up with something later as well. Okay. Depends on what they come with. I think Emissary Ice is the game, so that's a grief. Going to take something here. I can also tinker for Sphinx on turn 1, right? Crack Lotus for black. No. Yeah, 5 mana. Yeah. So, depends on what they take here. I imagine Lotus is your scary card here. Actually, Lotus looks like it enables everything. Opponent having a think, but I do think the pick is Lotus. But then Mystical for show and tell if I draw a land also looks scary. And then we can, like against like Squee and stuff, the Tabernacle buys a lot of time, but the Icarids just keep clocking. Against Dredge. So, see what the opponent comes with here. Obviously they've got a Bazaar. What did they exile? They exiled Amalgam, yeah, they find the Lotus, so that's good for them. Then they Bazaar up to 6, down to 3, but obviously cards in graveyard is the name of the game over there. So hopefully nothing too aggressive. Stinkweed Imp Golgari Thug. No hollow ones. So I imagine that's good for us. I imagine they've got Vigors. So do I want to slow roll my Moxen? So I can DT for Tinker and Mystical for Show and Tell in the same turn. In the same turn cycle. Yeah, I'm going to play both my Moxen and get punished. No, I'm going to play one of my Moxen. The one that they know about. So next time I can DT for something if I need to. If they Vigor me or something. I could get wasted for sure. So Negation, Shell, Grief, Narc, Bazaar. Yeah, no, so just one Narc at the moment. And an Icarid. No Amalgams just yet, but they still need to discard. So, yeah, just one Icarid and a Narc Amoeba. And then opponent's got 2 cards in hand. 3 cards after that Dredge. So they've got an Amalgam now, which they'll get back at the end of their next turn. Let's see if this Mystical gets through. Well, the Mystical will get through, it's just whether the Show and Tell gets through. So I'm going to get Show. And then if I get Upkeep Vigored, that's fine. Because I've got DT to run the same Gambit next turn as well. And if they've got Force of Will, they've got Force of Will. I've got DT to run the same Gambit next turn. So, seems fine. I think Emissary does ice this game completely. If I name creature correctly. But I imagine this is a spot where you do need to Vigor my Ruby to buy time. So maybe that's an argument to not play the Ruby actually. But then this way I don't run into Mindbreak Trap. But I don't know if they bring in Mindbreak Trap. So opponent's paying costs, so it's going to be Noxious on my Mystical. Okay. So I draw a Mystical. Do I want to do anything? 4 up to 3, so they can draw to find permission. I think I'll just pass. I think I'll pass and do show and tell next turn, and then if I need to, then I'll have a... Like if they... I don't know what they could do that would make me cast this Mystical at the moment, but... Because I'm just going to get hit for 4 this turn. Maybe some chills. So yeah, that's how they get me, is down to 12 and then chill me. Though, seeing as they're halfway through their deck with no chills, they might have taken the chills out. So Amalgam gets in. They're on 1 card, up to 2 now. So if their last card's Grief, then that'll be powerful. But otherwise my cards are uncounterable. I go to 16. They get 1 more Amalgam in exchange for the Icarid in play. And then I go Jet Show. And if that resolves, the game is over. Vigor, my Ruby in my draw step. Okay. That was good then. So they picked up a shell. So the last card was that. Cool. That's fine, I think. I can't make more mana, can I? I'm at 16. So let's cast a Jet. My Mox is gone. I need to DT for a mana source here. So they can't interact after next turn other than Creeping Chills. But they will get me below Creeping Chill life total. So that's kind of concerning. Sarah's Emissary doesn't help me there. So I think I'll just DT for Sapphire. They've got 0 cards in hand, so they might have just done enough. I can end step Mystical. Oh, there's 4 Icarids. Fuck me dead. I missed that completely. I wonder if there was other lines in this match or in this game. So this is 15 and I'm dead to a chill. Wow. So draw step, they don't dredge. So that makes me think that the chills are out. That makes me think that the chills are out. Oh, I can't count. Cool. I did maths in game 1, so really, you can't expect that much more of me. Right then, going down for game 3, I think I'll keep it the same. There's nothing else I really feel like I want. I'm not sure if there's anything I could do there. I was just thinking about it. There's... Like, 'cause even if I DT for Tinker on the turn that I decide to wait for Show and Tell, I end up getting Vigored the same, right? So I'm not sure if there's much there. I'm sure there's lines, but I'll keep this. I've got a Strip Mine. I've got an Ancestral. I'll Ancestral on their upkeep, because they do have about 4 negations. And then we can strip them, and that should buy us a fair amount of time, depending on their opener. They've kept 7 again. What is it like? So upkeep will Ancestral ourselves. Good grief, that was close. That's a Ruby and a Show. That's interesting. Oh, a Ruby. A Pearl and a Show. So that's quite cool for the home team. They're going to grief us, and they're going to see Strip, Oath, and Show, plus Atraxas, and more Search. So difficult what to take. I can even see them just like coming off of Bazaar for a turn and strip mining me. Because everything relies on the Trop at the moment, right? The Ponder, the Oath, the Show and Tell. They've taken the Oath of Druids, so they've not got a Vigour. Or they've got a Force of Will. That's a Bazaar, that's not. So you're going to go for another Grief. You're just assuming that if I show in an Atraxa, that's enough. So like your extra bizarre activation is good enough, sort of thing. So down to 4 cards, discarding a Force of Negation and an Amalgam. So that's quite the show of strength there. Brainstorm. So what happens if I Brainstorm here? I think I like Brainstorm. I think pushing Oath is bad into their permission, because they've just discarded blue card counterspell. So now I can put back Atraxa, Ponder, I can strip mine you. And then next turn, we've got 1 dredge for the turn. Next turn I can have a Flusterstorm up, I think. Okay, so I went and got their Bazaar back. So no dredge, and just pass the turn. Yeah, because they're just so heavy on permission here. But I've got 2 show and tells now, right? So I can DT Lotus. So let's cast Mox Pearl. Let's play Forbidden Orchard. Let's cast Demonic. And now I'm going to have Flusterstorm up, because I'm going to go and get Lotus. Cast Black Lotus. Crack Lotus for blue. Cast Show. And now I can show in Grand Atraxa with Flusterstorm behind. Yeah, they've got the negation. If they've got a trap, they've got a trap. Good on them. I've got another show and tell next turn for you. So let's hope we targeted the right spell. And we'll find out what their last card in hand is. Show and tell. This is my Atraxa. Opponent has nothing to put into play. I'll take Sapphire, Oath, Trop. Fuck me dead, I don't know. I've got another show and tell, so Sarah's Emissary, Probe, Force of Will. Done. Let's probe them, see what they're holding. So if I hit another Mox here, then I can not show and tell, because that's how the game works. So, opponent thinking about this probe, but I do think we've got this one on the locked up side of things. We've got an Atraxa in play. They've not got the biggest graveyard, they've not got the biggest hand. They just have to flip everything and pray and get around everything, which is the really difficult part. I'll get around my Atraxa. And next turn I'm showing in a Sarah's Emissary to completely ice them. So just waiting for the opponent here. They're low on time and thinking about this Cataxian probe. I don't know what they can really have, but they may just be letting the clock run down, getting a drink, extending their break between rounds. It's a play I've made before when you think you're the last game going. Just eat a bit of clock in your concession position to make your tea, go to the bathroom, you know, generally prepare for round 3. There's 4 matches in progress. 200 players today for the Showcase Challenge. Where's our man? Jacob 2-0, crushing it. Right. Opponent scoops the match as I reach for the pause button. We're 2-0. See you for round 3. Okay, round 3. We're up against Duke 12 on the draw. I do declare this hand as unkeepable. They've revealed a Lurrus, and their most recent results are with a blue-black Lurrus version. So we'll see how we get on. This is where my inexperience with blue decks can get found out. Brainstorm seems good. Oath is the card we use most. Is it just negation and I hold the misstep? Negation goes down. I don't know what to put on the bottom. I think it's negation or walk. Brainstorm I don't have a shuffle for, but I don't think that matters so much in this spot. What am I walking into here? Nothing. I'm going to bottom the negation. I find that their cards, their spells, I find don't matter as much. That may be nonsense. I'm very much approaching from the wrong angle, I think. Well, fuck me dead. Would love a negation right now. Okay. So it's over to me. They've got 3 cards in hand. So draw step is a bayou. That's not very good. I'm going to walk. Mox Pearl. Fetch a tropical. Oh, should I get a sea actually? No, I'll get a tropical island. And I'll cast Time Walk. Does that get a reaction? Force negation, pitching, force of will. Okay. So then next turn our brainstorm has to find us our strip or Beseiju to destroy something. Tolarian Academy. Oh wow. So is this like a Shere Khan style list then? Mox Sapphire. 1 card in hand from the opponent. I'm going to cast Brainstorm. I'm just dead, right? So what we'll do here is we'll pass the turn and we'll just confirm that their key is in their deck and not in their hand, because if it's in their hand then we've got out, so if it's not in their hand then we will lose. So make a token. They do not pass the turn back to me. And then they hadn't drawn the key, so we'll concede there. Yeah, so that game, they did have the force behind, right? But I could have kept my negation. Never mind. Let's go to game 2. Okay, so I think the Academy means they're on like a Shere Khan style list. I don't think they had Academy in the last list that I was looking at. Oh no, they did. Okay, so maybe the null rods are a bit overkill. What would I get back? I'd get back one of the slow tutors, or a show and tell, or a fun. I guess I'll just register one null rod and bring in a force of negation. Let's bring in a proper force of negation though. I don't like alternate arts that much. Yeah, I think I'll register this. So yeah, just a light Academy rather than nutty. So yes, I would like to play first. Let's see what we can come up with here in game 2 against Duke 12. Not very good at understanding what that means. So yeah, so I can play Mox, Lotus, Beseiju, and in their upkeep I can crack Lotus, tap something, flash Atraxa. That's a lot of resources, but I'm gonna do it. This might be horrific. Who knows? Let's cast a Mox Jet then. Let's cast a Black Lotus. They might respond to the Lotus and just end the game here actually. Yeah, Force Negation, exiles Flusterstorm. So now I'm on blue source for flash or use my negation. Pitching Atraxa. I'm not sure which one you're supposed to pitch in this spot. So Saga goes on the stack. And a Mox Jet. Cool. So another Atraxa. In their upkeep, I think I might Beseiju their Saga. We take one, that's fine. So I'm going to Beseiju the Saga here. They get 2 lands. They get to cycle a Lorien as well. No, it's just in comes Bowman and passes the turn back. That's a Sapphire. So we'll be able to flash an Atraxa on their upkeep depending on the makeup of their hand. Let's cast Flash. Bluff Veil of Summer, which I'm not playing. They've got Spell Pierce. So I'll negate the Spell Pierce, pitching an Atraxa. And I'll put in an Atraxa, which I can't pay for, but I do get to draw a bunch of cards. So that seems good for us if it's a good one. So what have we got here? Island, Walk, Oath. I'll take the Null Rod anyway, and a Vigor. And an OK. Ooh, I almost didn't get the OK. There we go. Over to the opponent's main phase. And I think I'll start my turn by casting Walk. They've got a Bauble, okay. So they do know our hand in this spot, but they are low on resources as well. So they'll draw a card off Bauble at the beginning of our turn. So Island, because they know about it. They can't spell pierce me, they can force me. They can possibly daze me. So let's just cast Oath first. And now I'll walk. And they've got a negation for the walk. Does that mean they've got a cage for the Oath? Or just an answer for the Oath in general? Post board their answers. Feed the Swarm. That's good. And Grafdigger's Cage. Time Twister. Does that just kill me on the spot? Yeah. Is there anything I can draw out of this? I don't know. Let's look at our hand. Wow. Yeah, I think I take exactly 15 here, right? Or maybe 16. Wow. That's annoying. Never mind. 2 and 1. Duke is one of the better players on this platform, so pretty rough to pair up against them. Well, not pair up, but you know what I mean. 8, and that's 9 on board. So, good on them. We will see you for round 4. Okay, on the draw against Aeon Waste 7, most recently seen on a Lurrus Saga list with Lavinias and stuff. They got 2nd place in, I think, the most recent Vintage Challenge. Or the most recent one I published there, 13th of the 1st. 4 Lavinias, Pearl Sapphire Jet, no actual black cards in their deck though, just Lurrus. 1 Caracas main, 1 Strip main, 4 Wastes, 4 Sagas. So yeah, so just classic stuff really. I think I'm going to keep this hand. It's just like, look at my Oath, look at my Tinker, something like that. So we'll keep this. And then I think I'll throw Tinker at them and then I'll throw Oath at them. And we will deploy all of our Moxen. 4 Force, 4 Force, 2 Spell Pierce. Jesus Christ. This very much looks like a jam hand though, I think. Cool, so yeah, I think it's Jet. I'm going to cast Lotus. And I'm not sure if I think I cast Ruby. And then I can crack this for blue. Tap Ruby. And Tinker with a blue floating. Sacrifice a Ruby. And this does AMWay have permission set up here? Did they keep like a slower Saga hand, slower Boatman hand, something like that? So they got Force Negation, Pitch, Treasure Cruise. Okay. And now we're going to go Oath or Orchard, tap it for green. Oh, sure, yeah, that resolves. You get token. And we'll cast an Oath of Druids. Now they're going to have a Spell Pierce for me as well. So maybe I could have slow rolled this. I don't know. Okay, so our whole hand gets negated and we're on top decks. And we just have to like basically rip show and tell roughly now. Before they deploy Lavinia, they wasteland our Orchard, so show and tell's now dead. I'll play a Misty and pass. So yeah, we just needed them to not have 2 bits of interaction there. I think that's a perfectly reasonable ask. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to ask for, is no interaction, or like one piece of interaction. So, nothing from the opponent here. I'll play a Tropical Island and pass. And they've obviously not missed like land drop or anything like that, but they've got 4 cards in hand. And I say they've not got anything going on, but they could just have like a stack of permission, right, and just start beating me with this 1/1 that I've given them. Like the Duke list that we played against last round has slightly more like action. It's got the Time Twister for the Bowmen, it's got the Vault Key stuff, so that can actually close out a game. Whereas this deck kind of like, not struggles, but just isn't quite so quick at closing out a game. So Spreading Sea is my trop, that's fine. And then in for 1. I think I'll just keep playing lands into their Infinite Wasteland deck. So we play an Orchard. Should I tap the Orchard for Oath? I think so. I don't know I'm doing it this way, but hey ho, here's a token. So I beat the Spell Pierce this time because I've got mana. I don't beat another Force of Will, obviously. No, so Oath's in play. Game 1, they've got no enchantment removal, usually. Or last time we saw them, they had no enchantment removal. So as far as we know, that Oath is now here and it's here to stay. Let's see if they can come out of this. And this is one of the nice things about this deck, right, is we've got Tinker, 4 Oath, 4 Show and Tell. Like, we're pretty action-packed to execute. And 3 Oko's main deck I think I had. I can't remember. It's too much knowledge. Yeah, 3 Oko's. So we are pretty threat dense. And we did get 3 of their cards turn 1. They stripped my Orchard. That's fine. They play a Caracas. Motherfucker. Can you just stop having the answers? So in come the tokens. We're going to get a Caracas, an Atraxa trigger though, at least. So do I want to fetch before the Atraxa trigger? I guess so. Oh no, I don't know. I'm going to get a Tropical Island. I just don't want to mill 3 trops and be like cold, you know. So we'll go and get our trigger. Yes, I'd love to use Oath's ability because that's going to drag us back into this game. 10 cards got milled. Time Walk's annoying, but we've still got 2 Passages and Strip Mine in our deck. They're just going to bounce this in response to trigger. Oh no, it's going to plow it. Cool. Life points. So what do we get? We get Strip Mine. Yep. Oko, Pearl and Brainstorm. Oi. Oko, Strip Mine, Pearl, Brainstorm. That seems good, right? Move to draw step. It's another Oath for Druids. So we can play a Strip Mine. Strip Mine your Caracas. Cast a Mox Pearl. Cast an Oko. And then they're paying some costs, so the other Spell Pierce, I think that's fine. I'm getting another Atraxa trigger next turn. And I might Brainstorm in response to the trigger over here, just so that I can then put this Atraxa and Oath back and mill the Oath, draw the Atraxa. I think that sounds good to me. So in they come, sending us to 20. And squeezing this Oath through is I really think put us ahead in this game now. How many Atraxas have we been through? 1, 2, including the one in my hand. I'll target you. And I'll tap this for blue and cast Brainstorm. I may misstep my Brainstorm. That just doesn't matter really. It was just nice to do. So yes, please. So more cards leave. Didn't mill another Oko, which is good for the sort of longevity of our game because they're ploughing us a game again. Okay. 0 cards in hand for the opponent. So I'll definitely take Show and Tell. I'll definitely take Oko. Force of Will. Atraxa. And I guess a Delta. So that would be all my Atraxas. So the next Atraxa has to stick. Oh, I've got an Oko as well. So let's take a Delta. 5 cards. Let's roll. Draw Step is an Ancestral, so that's pretty dope as well. Let's play a Delta and find out we've got no targets left. Oh, I do. Genius. Show and Tell. This is one of my Atraxas. I've taken the other Atraxa, so we've got the blue card, and we win. Cool. So nice game 1. Let's go to game 2 and have a look at what they sideboard. Okay, so we're going to sideboard similarly to how we have done before. Sorry, I've already done the sideboarding, I was paused in reading. I'm going to bring in 2 Thoughtseize and 2 Dismembers for this matchup. And I'm going to drop a Vampiric Tutor, a Force of Negation, a Show and Tell, a Mystical Tutor, and a Lotus Petal, and I brought in a 4th Oko as well. So Dismember's going to kill their 3 post-board Containment Priests and their Lavinias. Thoughtseize is going to Thoughtseize them, and Oko is going to be a card that we sort of try to leverage quite hard throughout the matchup. So that's that. I'll see you down in game 2 here. Okay, so game 2. I don't know about this. I think I've got to keep it. I think it's like, you know, a quote-unquote forced keep. It's just action into action. I'm just going to throw Oko and Oath at them. But, you know, turn 1 Lavinia, double interaction like they had last time. Could all be problems. But we're going to take solace in the fact that they rarely kill us quickly. So, oh, Sapphire. Is this turn 1 Lavinia? Yeah, Lavinia off the top. Cool. Well, not off the top, but turn 1 Lavinia, because that's how... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So we might just lose. So let's play an island, so we don't get wasted. And pass. So there's a Saga into play. Yeah. And this is just turn 1 Nvidia's completely browned us. They go and collect Lurrus, they play Lurrus, they cast Lurrus, they Lotus. So I imagine they've got an answer here for my Oath, but I'm still going to cast it. I just have to throw things at them. So opponent gets in for 2. Forbidden Orchard, Oath of Druids. And they're going to force me. Or spell pierce me with the Lotus. Oh, it just gets through. So then they're going to hold Containment Priest. And we're going to have to Oko it, and we're just going to slowly lose life. And we'll see where we get to. All they need to walk into that cage. So 3 mana. Lotus. Lots of mana. What's this, Hardcast Lorien then? Yeah, Hardcast Lorien revealed, up to 6 cards in hand for the opponent now. They've played and cast their Lotus this turn, so they need to find one of, from last time out, 3 cages, 2 Seal of Cleansing actually. 3 Peat Priests, 1 cage, 2 Seal of Cleansing is roughly what they're working with. Obviously they've got plows as well if they keep those in, I don't know. Well, there's also a Time Walk that will get them there. So quite a few outs to this spot. So they make a token with the floating. Does that mean my Atraxa's just getting ploughed then? That's what that sounds like to me. Atraxa's just getting ploughed. And they'll try and tempo me out. Wasteland. Yeah. And in they come for 6. I'd like to get a dismember for this bloody Lavinia. So I'm going to go down to 12. They're gonna, if they've got Paths in their deck, I don't think they would. But if they swapped Plough for Path, then Path is actually better here because I don't have any other basics. So, okay. Yes, I'd like to use the ability, please. So this is an Atraxa. Tell me your thoughts on Atraxa. No response there. Ooh, this is a nutlow. So, Ponder, Brainstorm, Emerald, drop. Do I want the Atraxa in hand? I guess so, because then I can draw Show and Tell. So, say done here. We'll take a draw step. There's a Misty. So, I don't think there's a 1-mana draw punisher that I can think of. So I'm going to Brainstorm. I draw Thoughtseize, Negation, Pearl. I think at this point I can probably put back some of this nonsense. Well, I've got a lot of lands in hand. I'm going to shuffle with Misty. So I'm going to put back Forbidden Orchard and an Atraxa. I can just have an Atraxa in my deck. And then I can Misty for Underground Sea or Bayou. Just Bayou. And Thoughtseize you. Pithing Needle, Lavinia, Snapcaster Mage. So what does Pithing Needle do against me? Oh, it names Oko, doesn't it? Yeah, so let's just... well, none of this matters because of Lurrus. Okay. But they don't at the moment have a Plough. So I guess I just take Snapcaster Mage because that's the most long-term annoying card. I've got 10 cards in my fucking hand and I can't cast any of these spells. So let's discard the off-color Moxen and a Force of Negation. So now they'll probably go and get a Cage, I imagine. Yeah, didn't float any mana, so Brainstorms. Scoops match. I feel like they have more time, but that's cool. Good player who's been on a streak with this deck, and we cast Oath of Druids. So let's go 3-1. Okie dokie nerds. Next round of the Showcase Challenge. We're up against -110, most recently seen on the same as we played against last round actually. Blue-white Lurrus. They have revealed a Lurrus. I'm not sure about this hand. Like turn 1 I can vamp for Atraxa and try and flash in an Atraxa, but I think I'm just losing. My mana base isn't very consistent with Petal and Strip. And Orchard's going to give him a bunch of shit. I don't know if I can keep this. Maybe I should, because I've got a Probe to push through. They're on the play. I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more. So how does this look? Oh, it looks pretty rough, that's the thing. I think I'm going to keep it. I'm on the draw. I can get another land. I've got 2 looks at a land this turn, and then a vamp for Atraxa. So this is how I'm going to run it. If I top deck an Oath and they don't have anything, that's great. But, you know, Close. Let me know what you would have done. I'm not sure this is keepable, but we'll see. We'll see. So opponent Bauble takes a look at their own deck and then fetches with Misty, not liking what they see, and plays a Tundra. And as tempting as it is to punt around with my own strip mine when I'm trying to find my own mana base, I think we need to hold this strip for an Urza Saga. Where's their previous deck list gone? They did have a main deck Caracas as well, so there's better lands in their deck than this Tundra. I'm going to start by paying 2 life to probe them though. And they've misstepped me. Okay. So I can Orchard. Yeah. I'm going to play my Orchard. I think the line will be Vamp for Oath, if I'm allowed to. By if I'm allowed to, I mean if I untap with my land in play. I won't, so I will need to cast this Vamp. So that resolves. I can still Vamp for Oath, right? Do I Vamp for Atraxa? To get this flash off. I think Oath is better game 1. They have 4 plows. And that's it. They've got 5 cards in hand though. Maybe actually Flash I can just get off at a better time than Oath. No, I'm going to Vamp for Oath. Because if I'm allowed to build up mana, then I can Oath with Fluster behind. I don't know, that was close to me. I don't know if it should be, but it was close. So I'll play Boseiju. And I'll play a Petal. I'm going to pass the turn. Because then next turn I can Oath with Fluster behind. So Force of Will would be a fucking top-notch draw here. Unless of course they wasteland me post-combat. No, so they've got no lands here. No Lorians either. Oko Thief of Crowns. Interesting. I think I'm just going to play my Strip Mine. I'm going to cast my Oath. I'm going to Fluster their first permission spell. And hope it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. They exiled Snapcaster, and they've got another Force of Will, exiling Dig Through Time. So same targets on this. And now they're at 2 cards though, so like if they don't find Lorien or Moxen here, we're going to be in tremendous shape once we've wasted them. That's if we waste them. So it comes back to me. Blue land would be phenomenal for this Oko. Atraxa. Well, do I strip or do I hold? I like holding just because then they can't Saga me. I know it's giving them spells, or giving them mana. But I don't think that matters. I think what matters is... Okay, they've got a wasteland. Do you wasteland me? You do. Okay. That's fine. And they've gone after my coloured sources. Oh, I see. They're paying costs. They've got a fucking treasure cruise. Jesus Christ. Maybe I did want to waste them. Hey ho. We've been through a number of forces though so far. 2 out of 8. Good lord. We're going to die to this token. Oath of Druids. Just a blue source would be great. It's a Tundra and a Lavinia. Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to be as playing as scared against the Saga as I have been, but yeah, this ain't it, is it? This is not it. Oh, my apologies, my chair just fucking killed itself. Brainstorm, yeah. This looks like it's going to be tough to come back from. Yeah. So we've got 4 cards in hand. We go to 9. Okay. Not the draws we were looking for. I'm not sure how I played my opening hand, but I think it was okay. The big thing I'm not sure about is the keep. I felt like it wasn't very resilient because my blue source was Petal, right? We knew Orchard was going to get binked on. So let's just cast an Oath. Yeah. I don't think this can ever resolve here. They've got 4 cards. They've not been doing anything. They didn't tap out for Lurrus. They probably just found another Spell Pierce. No, hard cast Negation. That's fine. Over to them. They put us to 2. And I think we're out of outs at this point. Yeah, I can't see anything to flash into here. So we'll give them game 1. And we'll go to another game. What did we do last time? 2 Dismembers, an Oko, 2 Thoughtseize, and we cut the Slow Tutors, a Show and Tell. They didn't like the negations, did they? Oh, Petal as well as the other one. Okay, so we'll rock this and straight down. Opponent knows what they're about. So I'll keep this hand. I'm going to go Polluted Delta, fetch an island, cast Ponder. I like this, I think. I think I'll go Besage on the bottom, then Oath, then Misty. I won't shuffle just yet. I'll cast the Emerald, just so we don't get turn 1 Lavinia'd quite so hard. And that'll become our opponent's turn. Bauble, as is tradition, baubles himself, plays a Saga, and passes the turn. And now I'm going to draw Oath for the turn when I could have been drawing Besage You, I now realise. But this Oath is going to take 2 cards from them. I'm just going to play Misty. Do I cast Oath of Druids here? I think so. So I don't know if they'll counter it. Oh, they will. Okay, cool. Fine. So now we're going to try not to crack our Misty, so we can draw our Boseiju. We still got 2 cards out of them. One of them was a Lorien. We want the Boseiju in hand because this Saga is like something close to a lock to getting a cage, unless the cage has already been drawn. Time Walk. Okay. Time Walk's fine. I have no answer to it anyway, so crack on, bro. So 5 cards in hand, floats himself a mana. Oh, did I bring in my Dismembers? Yeah, good. We know we're drawing Boseiju unless they don't get cage and like make something else. But we know we've got another Oath to throw at them. And we can draw into like 3 shows, something like that. So they get the cage, we've got Boseiju, we've got the answer on top of our deck for that. And they do cast Lavinia. Okay. And cycle a Lorien. Cool. And they get themselves a Tundra. So let's go pick up our Boseiju. Play Underground Sea for the turn. And we'll cast an Oath of Druids. So opponent lets that through. They may have like a Seal of Cleansing or Cathar Commando or something like that. They have an Urza's Saga there. And they collect a Lurrus. Okay, so they're going to attack us. We're going to end step, fetch for Trop. Let's just check their deck list quickly, make sure there's no... Sorry. There's no 1 mana answers to an Oath of Druids in here. So I believe I can, if my mouse decides to work, I can fetch Trop and Boseiju their cage. So there's a nice uncounterable answer to cage there, and we'll put an Atraxa into play. We've got 1 in our hand already, but there we go. So we milled 6, just some lands and an Oko. We get another Oko. Thoughtseize is going to be the card. What else do I want? Delta. Another Oath, because why not? A Force of Will. And I guess a Sapphire. Say done. And we'll take a draw step as well. So let's lead on Thoughtseize. They've got Lavinia and Lurrus in hand, so we'll take their Lurrus. They've got a Caracas as well, which is cool for them. And I'll play an Oko Thief of Crowns. Do I want to Elk Lavinia now? I don't think so. I think I'll just make a food token. I'll play a Polluted Delta in case I need to fetch. Maybe I should have Elk Lavinia actually, because then I could have Force of Willed the next Lavinia. So we need to draw ourselves another Boseiju or Strip Mine. So we do now have an Oko, so that's cool. So let's go to combat and assume they're going to bounce our Atraxa. Yeah, that's fine. Now I'm going to elk their Lavinia. I'm going to cast myself a Sapphire, get that into play. Play a Bayou. I think that's good. I've now got good things going. Can they get another cage with this? That's the question. They only had one cage last time. They could get a Pithing Needle. That's going to be the next collection from our opponent. But we're just an orchard away from just hard casting Atraxas at this point. There are 2 orchards in my graveyard. There. Making a bunch of tokens. Let's get a Bauble. And to play Lotus. So what do we know about? Possible. So none of those, none of those. So we know about 1 card in their hand, and that's Lavinia. We're taking 7 here. But we've got 2 Atraxas left to hit. So that's nice. Oh, they've hit our Oko, which makes sense. So they don't have a Needle in their deck at the moment. That's fine. I'm going to shuffle anyway because I'm going to get a Tropical Island before this Oath goes off. And then Oath's going to go off. I'm going to target you. Opponent's going to draw a card with Bauble. I'd love to get an Atraxa, please. So, Atraxa trigger. I might just bounce in response here. They didn't. So, Orchard, Ancestral, I guess Jet. My house has just been milled and I didn't bring in a Sphinx, so I guess I'll just take Show and Tell for these 3 Atraxas that are in my hand. Dunzo. And then Draw Step is a Force of Will. The Lavinia is currently dead. Well, not dead, but you know. And I'm going to play Ancestral, targeting myself. And I'm going to cast Brainstorm. Okay, so I don't need an Oath of Druids. I don't need an Atraxa. I don't actually have a shuffle, do I? Let's cast Lotus. Oh, thanks Modo, you're the best. And let's cast Oko Thief of Crowns. I'm going to stand up my food token. And now I'm going to walk. My opponent says that's fine. Oh, so Boseiju, Strip Mine are dead. Sorry, I missed that completely, Jesus. Let's get in for 3 this turn. So just trade off with the food. I'll discard an Atraxa. Is that right? I can discard Negation and Show. Oath is going to target them, but I'm not going to do it. So I've only got 16 cards left in my deck, and I just realised that all my outs to Atraxa are in my graveyard. So no here, please. Oh god, that's so free to do. Never mind. Do I just stand up Lotus here? Now I'll go to combat. They're going to bounce my Atraxa. Oh, they didn't bounce my Atraxa there, but they've still got multiple more click options to bounce my Atraxa on. Yep. I think I'll play an Orchard. I think I'll just recast Atraxa. I think that's fine. Okay. I don't know what I want out of this. I don't think there's much that I need. I'll take an Oko. I'll take a Dismember. I think that'll do. Oh no, I'll take the Pearl. I know, I want cards in my deck. So let's just take Oko and Dismember. And pass the turn. I'm on 9 cards. I'll discard Atraxa. And now we need to just like elk them dead sort of thing. So I cast a Sapphire. Imagine this is all going at Oko here. Oko. I'm going to try and kill the construct token. I've got 3 cards in hand. We know one of them's Lavinia. So the construct dies, which means my Oko survives. Plays Polluted Delta. Gets basic island. Comes in with the hardcast Lorien revealed. I think that's something I can fight over. Pitching Atraxa, because my Atraxas just draw cards and I've got a bunch of cards already. Oath triggers, and we say no. No thank you. Play this. I'm going to plus on the jet. I'm going to get him for 6. I think that's good. Next turn I can play Oko and attack for lethal, assuming that this kills Oko. No attacks, so they've got to stay back now. So now this Oko can make a food. They've got 2 cards in hand, one of them's a Lavinia. Make a food or Elka Sapphire. Elka Jet, Elka Ruby, Elka Emerald. I found it. I found the one that's actually in play. I think I'll just Elka Emerald and just push as much damage through as possible. I've got all my lands in play. I just need to attack them. So Lavinia trades, Spirit chumps. They're going to get an Oath trigger. I can't imagine that's going to be too much of a problem for us. I imagine it's just going to be another Lavinia. I'll misstep that, but thank you for offering. So Oath triggers, targets me. Opponent can now mill to a Lavinia. Gets Lavinia. But I have infinite lands now. They've got 2 cards in hand, including Lavinia. They brainstorm. I'm just going to cast my Force of Will. Say no to that, and now we kill them. Cool. +1. Attack, attack, attack. They chump block. Just trying to eat my clock at the moment because it is 7:16 versus 16:56 at the moment in terms of time. So they're just trying to get their time equity for game 3. Do we want anything else? I don't think so. I don't think we do. I think we're good. I'm just going to submit the deck. Okay. Game 3. Opponent's up. This hand looks great. It's going to be turn 1, Underground Sea, Thoughtseize You, I think. They're looking at me, so they like their hand. They've got a Tundra. And that's it. Okay, so... yeah, exactly what I said. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize You. Spell Pierce. I'm going to misstep their Spell Pierce. Lavinia, Containment Priest, Snapcaster Mage. Lorien revealed. I'm going to take their Containment Priest. They're going to Wasteland me next turn. How do I feel about that? I think I feel fine about it. So it's over to them. They Wasteland. Well, they don't Wasteland. Upkeep Wasteland? No. Do I Ponder? Or do I Oath? I'm just going to roll out an Oath. You're not my dad. Unless you do another Spell Pierce, that would be really annoying. Trop. Man, the Modo lags are going to ruin me. Another Containment Priest. Okay. That's cool. I've got a Ponder. Okay, so triggers. Okay. Nope. Okay. Bayou. So Ponder. I'll take them all, but I'll take the negation first. Is that right? Can I Control Z this? No. Okay, cool. Shuffle your library, no. Play a Bayou. Yield. Oh, actually, this was really bad. I think they're going to beat me down. I should have shuffled. Oh yeah, no, that was awful. What am I doing? There's a Containment Priest in play. Oh, so maybe I have to say yes. Graphics Cage. So it wouldn't come into play now anyway. I could have forced that. I'm just a bit flustered from the fact that I punted so hard. Yeah, I'll just use it to get rid of the Show and Tell. I'll draw the Atraxa for the turn. I'll pass to them. I don't know if my Oko can get me back into this. Pithing Needle naming Oko. Yeah, I think that's going to be me done, isn't it? Name's Basoju, sure. So I take 4, going down to 6. Yeah, that second Containment Priest rip was pretty damn good. I did play the mid game poorly. I didn't think about it enough. I need to hit a land this turn. Thoughtseize. So we lose. Fuck. Yeah, that ponder was definitely a shuffle. That was awful. I was like, oh my god, I can show it in, but like they've got a fucking containment priest, right? So that was really miserable play by me. It was just shuffle and draw, and then maybe I just draw something different. The whole game's different. I feel like the containment priest top deck was horrific, but hey ho. What you can do is that puts us at 3-2, and I'll see you for the next round. Okie dokie nerds. Next round we're up against Hake. I'm not too sure. Haqe. And their most recent vintage result was also Oath of Druids. So here we've got a nice turn 1 Tinker with Force of Will behind, which I'm going to keep. They've obviously also got the play. So we're going to keep playing. X&2 gets good prizes. Top 1 to 8 get good prizes. That's pretty savage. Mox Jet. Okay. Forbidden Orchard. Cool. And then they just pass to me. So how do we play this? I've got to tap my blue source to cast Tinker. So I guess I just cast Tinker, get rid of my Mana Crypt. Do I want to grab Underground Sea? I don't think so. I think I just need to grab Tropical Island, unfortunately. I could just get Island. I'm just trying to, hide information a little bit, maybe. So I could just get Island. Yeah, I like just getting Island. And then tinker away the crypt. Force of Will back pitching Mystical, I guess, or maybe Fluster, seeing as I can't use Fluster this turn. No, I just get it. So now I get a house. And there's my trop. Cool. So we pass back. So over to the opponent now. Oh, they can just have like fucking Besage you, can't they? That's so brutal. Maybe that play is not great. Maybe the play is just to play the land and pass. Mystical Tutor for what though? Okay, I'm just gonna get Show and Tell. Flash. Ancestral. Who knows? Yeah, no, I'm really quite annoyed about my stupid ponder last round actually. Like it's just 3 cards that don't do anything. I know their hand, and I know that Show and Attractor are dead, and it's just like, why on earth do I not find the shuffle there? It's so obvious. But so it goes. So they've gone and got a Show and Tell. They don't know that we're holding an Atraxa. That's why I didn't want to fetch Trop here. It's because I wanted to look like I'm not Oath of Druids, because then they're gonna pay me off with an Atraxa trigger in the first untap, right? Or are they just thinking about it now? They've already resolved their Mystical and drawn that card, which is good. Okay, there's a Saga in their Oath of Druids deck. I'm not intelligent enough to know whether that's good or bad, but that's certainly a play. So here comes the Show and Tell. The next question is, do I fight it? I guess so. Because I've got a house at the moment, which is better. I pitched Flusterstorm so that I have this Mystical to shuffle with this house. So we draw. Huh. What do you think about that? I have got the house. Oh my god. I've got the house, and the Atraxa trigger, and a Mystical Tutor. So I should be able to put an Oko into play this turn, right? I'm going to cast it. Against all better judgment. This is my Atraxa. What have you got? You've also got an Atraxa. So your Atraxa resolves first. Show me your 10 cards. Lorien, Oath, Oath, Forbidden Orchard, Strip, Vamp. So we're going to need some game log to see what they take. They didn't hit artifact removal, which is I should probably just mystical and ancestral myself there. Now that I've thought about the fact that I just gave them 10 outs to a fucking Besage. Yeah, that was loose. We've also hit 2 oaths. But they do have an Urza Saga, which is something that I currently am struggling to comprehend. So they choose Tinker. So they don't get Lorien revealed. They don't get Gitaxian Probe. They take Oath, obviously. They take Strip Mine, not Orchard, because they've already got an Orchard. And Force of Will. So they don't have Brainstorm, and they don't have Vamp. And then they've got one mystery card. Okay, now my Atraxa goes off. Get rid of this bit here. And I get Oko, Strip, Brainstorm, Atraxa. Well, actually, maybe Brainstorm's worse than Vamp when you've got a house in play. So, Dunzo with that one. So, Bayou is the land drop for the turn. That's a Force of Negation. So now I can cast Oko. You're going to Force of Will pitching a spell. And I will negate back. So, and the joke here is they know I know what they know they know. I know. They know I know that I know they have a Force of Will. I think that's correct. But they don't know that I have a Force of Negation. So, hey ho. Yeah, I think we were meant to just mystical, but we might get away with it from the power of the house. So, Atraxa gets pitched. I negate your Force of Will. There's another Oko on top of my deck, so if they do have a way to win this counter battle, then good on them. Let's Elk your Atraxa, please. Next question. Do I want to cast this Oko? I think so. I get a 9. That's a Besage on top of my deck. Okay. So I'll keep this one. I'll make a food token. And then I should probably attack, shouldn't I? They've got Tinker on top of it. They've got Tinker. Fuck me dead, they've got Tinker. So they're going to go off as well. But I'm drawing the Besage this time. So attacking to try and reduce the number of creatures we have. Because we know they've got an Oath of Druids in hand. I am not convinced with the way that I have played this. But that's alright. That was one of my concerns with registering this today, is I can play Squee, which I know I can play and I know I can play it well, or I can come off of it and play something that I think is better positioned, but I won't know quite as well. So Oppo has Tinker. They Tinker for the house as well. They haven't made a land drop yet, so they're going to have a good turn here, and then we'll get to Besage it. They cast Show and Tell, so I'll get another Atraxa trigger. Is that good? Yes, I believe so. It doesn't matter which one I keep. So I get a negation, an emerald, a probe, a Beseiju, and an oath of my own. Why not? Done. Next question is this: are we Besieguing house? Or are we Besieguing the oath? I guess we're doing the oath. Oh god. I just want my bazaars back actually. This is a bit confusing. So they play a delta for the turn, they then fetch it immediately. They've got a tropical island and they just slam in the Atraxa. A bunch more cards are going to get revealed here. Or are these the revealed cards? I've completely lost track now. Show game log, please. So yeah, this is what they revealed from. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think Tinker's gone. We know they've got Force of Will, Strip Mines in hand. Infinite Sagas. They choose Oath. No, they choose. Yeah, they choose. So they keep the Oath. They keep the Sapphire. They didn't keep a Saga. Manifold Key goes back. They kept a Force of Will. Trop Saga. So I think they've got. I think that's the joke at the moment. 4 cards. I think it's Force Oko. Oh no, they've got a Vamp on top of their deck. Orcs. Okay. What would you vamp for? You'd vamp for Time Walk, and then you'd win the battle, and then you'd Oko my Atraxa. Ew, gross. Okay. They get a top. Okay, so they just have top in their deck, and they because that was on top. So they vamp for top. I don't understand what vamp for top does. They're gonna have a look. Don't you just play Time Walk? Do you already have Time Walk? Is there something I'm completely missing? Are you trying to get to 10 permanents? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8 is Oko. So 2 more non-lands. Get them there. They're at 3. So they just need to hit power. I lose because they're Force of Will. Gross. How many permanents have I got? 7, 8, 9. Vamp for another one is 10. What a wild game. Both players have had multiple tracks triggers. Both players have resolved a Tinker. I currently have an Oko, but I know have an Oko in hand. Plus, I'm pretty sure they've got Force blue card. I think their hand is what we've got displayed at the moment of Force, Oath, Oko. So they are paying some mana. They're playing the Oko. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, if I force this, they can't play a Force off the top. They could play a Fluster off the top. I think I can let this... Can I let this Oko go? No, because then they can elk my dude. So, they're going to elk my house. Okay. So if I just force pitching the probe, then that means I've got, like... They've got to force back, or they've got to put Fluster on top. Either way, it's going to cost them a life point. Oh, God. So tap top. Oh, to pay mana for Fluster, I guess. No. Force of Will pitching Force of Negation. Okay. So your Oko resolves. You've got 1 mana floating. You elk my house, yet you cannot cast Time Walk. So I elk your Atraxa and attack. And your hand is Force of Will, Oath of Druids. That's the Sensei's top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 permanents. Looks at the top 3. Don't know. Your Lotus is gone. It's like your Atraxa's summoning sick. You're at 1. Elk-Atraxa. Attack you with 4 lethal attackers. Nice. Did not expect that. Right, so the Oath of Druids mirror match. Who the fuck knows? Right. Well, actually, I say who the fuck knows. People who've written sideboard guides, I guess. Let's go check those out. Okay, so this is how we're going to sideboard. It's -3 Oath, -3 Show. Keeping the Tinker package, bringing in the portals, bringing in Thoughtseize. As much disruption as we can get, basically. Yeah, let's see how we get on. 4 Okos. And that's that. I'll see you for game 2. Okay. Game 2. Is this hand good? Who fucking knows? I think so. I've got a Presagio for an Oath. I've got a Brainstorm and a Mystical. I can force away this Atraxa. I can Mystical Tutor for Flash and force away this Brainstorm. I can Brainstorm into a better hand and shuffle with Mystical. So I think it's got plays. Let's see what our opponent comes with here. Black Lotus again. Wow. That must be nice. Black Lotus, Orchard, and pass. Ancestral, nice. I'm going to play an island and pass the turn. They did mulligan. This is a black mana. So it looks like we're getting end step vamped here. Okay. I'm going to upkeep Ancestral myself. I don't think they can be vamping for Show and Tell. They might be vamping for Flashed. They've got the Orchard, so they could be vamping for Oath. Let's Ancestral ourselves. We did target ourselves. Another great success from the home team. My question is, if they fight this, which they didn't, then no need to answer it. No, it's just what was I pitching there? I don't know. So, bunch of green mana. And that's an Oath of Druids. And I can just let Oath resolve here, right? Because I'm just going to Presagio it. I'll fight Needles if they've got Needles. But I can just let this go. I'll fight the next one. I'll Presagio it on my turn. Veil of Summer. Yeah, dope, man. You got it. Sure, so getting in a fight there would have been a disaster. But we can just go Bayou, Black Lotus, Presagio your Oath of Druids, and pass the turn. They've got 2 cards in hand, we've got 7 cards in hand. We've got a Lotus in play, they haven't got a Lotus in play. I could have attacked, but I just didn't feel like it. So watch me lose this match by 1 point of life. So opponent is paying some costs. And they've got an Oko. I think I'll fight the Oko. You've got 2 cards in hand. I think I'm happy to. I think I'm happy. I keep saying I think I'm happy. I don't know if I should crack Lotus, cast Negation, or Force of Will, pitch Atraxa. I think I like Force of Will, pitch Atraxa, because next turn I've got tap 3 lands, cast Negation. And if we're in a spot, we can Mystical Tutor for permission and cast the permission that way. So I like our spot. We've got 6 mana. Any land, any Mox, we can cast Atraxa the turn after. Tinker. Tinker's a card. So I can just Tinker for Sphinx. You see. And Sphinx blocks all their Atraxas. Is that good just to jam? But they've got Besagers. I think I can wait. I think I can wait and I think I can chill. I'm going to attack for 2. I've got a negation. My mana's great. They're on 2 cards. I've got Brainstorm and Mystical. They've got nothing. So I think I'm going to Brainstorm end step and then cast Mystical Tutor. I think I'll put back Show and Crypt. And then I'll draw the Crypt. And cast it, I guess. So I can cast the Crypt. And I can tap some lands. Crack a Lotus. This takes me off of Flusterstorm, actually. I didn't think of that. I didn't see that at all. Do I still want to do that? I think so. I think I'll just hardcast Atraxa. They've got a counterspell, they've got a counterspell. Force of Will, pitching Tinker. Okay, and I've got Tinker up next turn, right? So I will Mystical Tutor for something else in the future. In my upkeep, I think. I don't want to draw Show and Tell at all. Actually, no, I'll draw the Show and Tell. They cycle Alluring Revealed. I will draw the Show and Tell, and the reason is that means when I Tinker, I'll have Portal available. Fluster available. I'm just considering if I'm going to Tinker for Portal here. They've got 1 card in hand. Tails. Okay. Keep. No, I should just Tinker for House because that's way better. Yeah, I'm going to get the Citadel. I'm going to play this Tropical Island. I'm going to Thoughtseize you. You've got a Bolas' Citadel. So opponent's Hellbent now, they've got no cards in hand. What can I Mystical for here? Ancestral, I can just Mystical for Walk. That sounds good. Mystical Tutor. I could Demonic. No, I'm just going to get Walk. What would I Demonic for though? Oko? Oath? Atraxa doesn't work, I've got no mana anymore. I could Mystical for Vamp for Atraxa. And then I'll have like next to 0 life points. Let's just get Walk. I think an extra turn will probably wrap it up. Well, maybe not. But we are in a nice spot where they're not resolving any spells in the near future. We're attacking for 2. We've got the card advantage engine rolling. So Pluto Delta, play Trop from the top. Vamp. Okay, this time I might just vamp for Atraxa. I can just vamp for Oko and close it out that way. So let's attack. And pass the turn to our opponent. And I think we're looking good here. Next turn I can just Elk the house and attack for 7. So I think we're going to advance on to 4 and 2, barring any major incidents. Yeah. So 4 and 2 for us. And what's dope about this is so prizes in this event. X and 2 finishers below 16th will be guaranteed getting a set. So that's what we're kind of playing for here. Anyway, see you for round 6. And yeah, take it easy. Okie dokie. So our opponent, Pepember, is on the play. Have we won a die roll today? Fuck me. So the most recent results are dual shops. They kept. Seems unfair. Don't keep 7. What does this hand really do? Force, pitching, show and tell. Land, go, die. I like the force bit. I don't like the land, go, die bit. Maybe it's force, pitch, time, walk, top deck, attractor. But that seems really loose. I'm going to go to 6 and just die, I guess. I mean, it's hard to construct a worse hand. I've got Brainstorm, then I can just be Brainstorm locked and die. I don't like that. I'm going to send this as well. Sure. Okay. Not great. Unlikely for us to get more than 1 turn in this game. I know I just mulligan 2 force hands, but 2 force hands with nowhere to go. The monolith is fine. Into the 1 ring. Okay. Can't even probe them. Savagery. And they draw a card. Right. Nox Opal, okay. Why not? Why not indeed? And they pass to me. So I'm gonna probe myself. I want to draw a piece of power. This is target opponent, isn't it? Target opponent, yeah. Wow. So let's play an Underground Sea. My mana wouldn't even work if I had dropped that top deck for power. How insane. So we'll be passing back and then probably losing, but we will have to at some point brainstorm into interaction. So for this matchup, I did add an extra null rod to the sideboard versus whatever deck I net decked earlier. Adding the second null rod was one that was a change that I made. And then there's 2 vigors. And I guess I can't lose if I put in an emissary. I don't know if that's good though. Mox Pearls, Mox Ruby's fine. Mox is fine. So here comes 3 mana into Voltaic Keys. That's going to untap the ring. Maybe I should have thought that. I've got 5 cards. Going up to 8 cards. It seems lost, but we did mulligan to 5. I do want to go back and see if I've won a die roll yet this tournament. Oh well, who cares? Just waiting on the opponent. They played basic island, which was interesting.
when you have 3 more cards here? Or do you just already have Mox PO rolled up? Oh, Grim, untap Grim, cast PO. Yeah, okay. And then we'll brainstorm in response to the PO. So you don't even need your blue mana. Cover to duel. Well, I'll respond to the duel then. Sick. Right, we're gonna let them chill. I'm gonna look up the Ravens score, and then we'll go to game 2. Yep, so that's another dude. What have I shown them so far? No, I should concede before they accidentally find out some information. I don't think I've shown too much that you can assume I'm on oath from that. Yeah, I'll do some sideboarding. I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so we're bringing in these cards, these 7. So artifact removal, thought seizures, and mind break traps. We're going to cut misstep. We're going to cut show and tells, and we're going to cut something else. Flusterstorm and Island. I'm just going to double check the guides to see if I want any shows or 0 shows. Okay, I think we're going to go 0 shows and just oath and max interaction. This is a hand. So I'll keep this. Oh, what am I doing with it? Because I can DT for force, I can DT for walk, I can DT for null rod, I can DT for mind break trap. Keep this. What do I DT for there in this spot? DT for vigor. Hope the ancestral does the business. I could just DT for null rod. And then ancestral myself back into the game. So all my artifacts would be dead. Where's my deck? DT for Tinker. Don't have the mana for it. What if I just lead on Ancestral and then DT for something afterwards? So sorcery speed Ancestral myself. And then play a bunch of shit. And then I guess Duel's just so good against them. I think Duel's just so good against them. Cast an Emerald. Cast a Jet. Cast a Pearl. So Norod's, I don't know what I've been saying, but Norod's just so good, so I think I'm just going to jam in Norod. I'm on the trot. And if they counter this, I've still got 4 mana. If they don't counter this, I haven't got 4 mana, I've got an Ancestor instead. So they counter it pitching Metamorph, that sends them down to 4 cards in their opening hand. 5 after their draw step. Ancient Tomb makes Grim Monolith. Now, do I just Oko their Grim? I think I've got to Ancestral myself. I think I've got to find some permission. Like, I'm so good to find a land here that I think it's okay. Let's probe them as well. I've now got Force of Will up. What have you got? Khan, Metamorph, Coveted Jewel. Okay, how do I deal with that? mean, I can just elk this Grim Monolith and they're quite far behind. I quite like that as an idea. Another tropical island. Elk the Grim. And then I have to elk my Pearl the following turn. I think that's fine, because they're on 2 mana now. I've got Force of Will behind. They kind of have to metamorph their Grim in order to get back into the game. If they find a land, that is. So it's obviously one of those things where duel can kill you from any position at any point. But this is probably the best spot I've ever been in against duel on turn 2. Yeah. Opponent's doing some thinking. My current plan is to attach Atraxa to this Force of Will for a while, and then ponder for Oath or something. But it is to trade Mox Pearl with Grim Monolith, unless I find Oath exactly next turn, at which point I'll make a food which will get my Oko out of Grim range, and yeah, blah blah blah. So 2 mana from the opponent and untapped again. Okay, cool. So they've drawn something they can do something with, so that's worrying. No, don't want it. Maybe it's just like a Soul Ring or something. Okay, so Grim in, Oko to 2. And they pass the turn. So drew nothing, over to us. That's a flash. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's just cast flash then. I'm going to tap the jet because I should have tapped the emerald because I'm silly. Nope. So what do we get here? So walk. Yeah, this is great. Walk, Oath, Ruby. Do I want an Atraxa? Not really. Force of Will. A Seiju. Done. The reason I'm not picking up the Atraxa here is because I've just sideboarded out my guys. So let's walk. My show and tells is what I mean by my guys. It's Oath. It's +2. Let's take another turn. Put an Atraxa into play. I'm down 1 Atraxa so far, so that seems good. We'll have to force their Metamorph when they play it next turn. I'd love to use Oath's ability. 22 cards left in deck, so I'm probably going to see the other Atraxa here. What do I want? I've got an Oko. Let's take the Seiju, Lotus, Oko. I don't care too much about Oath of Druids. I guess all my jewels, all my vigors have gone at this point. Vigor, yes. There's no point in putting Oath to hand. I don't want the other Atraxa. Let's just say done. Yeah, just get these 3 cards. Take a draw step. And I'll cast Ponder. And 8 we've just won. Cool. I agree with the opponent there. We have won. Cool. So that went better than before. Is there anything else we want to do? Do we like Oko more than any of these other cards? I think that's the bit where I'm a bit unsure, is whether I'm supposed to like Oko more than something else. But I think we need to be quick, and I think we need to be interactive. So I think Oko's on the slower side, but not as risky as the show and tells. So his hand has no rod. I'm going to keep it. I can ponder on 1. And no rod on 2. And if my ponder finds a Force of Will, then we're a bit better off. Opponent mulligan to 6. Sapphire Soul Ring, Time Vault, and pass. So we've got 3 cards in hand. I'd love a piece of power right here. Force some negations. That might help us get through next turn, actually. So ponder my kingdom for a Lotus. Can I do anything with this hand? I think I'm going to shuffle. Forbidden Orchard. Okay. So we've got negation to try and see through this turn. And if negation works, we have Null Rod. They just pass the turn. Can I take it easy and slow down? I don't think so. No. I'm going to fetch here and cast a Null Rod. And then next turn, if this doesn't resolve, then I've got negation again. And then I'll be able to vamp for my second Null Rod in my upkeep next turn. So negation should get us through the next turn. Mox Ruby. They just got another Force Blue card. Does that see anything that makes sense here? Oh no, they've got something. 4 mana, PO. PO. So I'm going to negate PO and I'm going to pitch my negation. And then if it comes back to me, we vamp for Null Rod, fetch another Tropical Island, get Null Rod into play. And that should, at that point, lock this one up. It'll be very hard for them to get back into it after Null Rod resolves. They have to top deck exactly Academy. So N is for Null Rod. We put Null Rod on top of our deck. And then we'll fetch out another Tropical Island and cast another Null Rod. They've got 1 card in hand, so I don't think they've got any spells. Yeah, there we go. That should do it. Opponent's turn. They untap, they don't opt to give me a turn. Oh, that's a Mishra's Workshop, so that's certainly a way in for them. Let's play Oko. That's plus to make a food. And I'll play out my orchard. I think we're like kind of on cruise control, but if they top deck Academy or like Ancient Tomb Saga, it becomes suddenly a really big problem. Is this just a Wormcoil Engine covered to duel? Mystic Forge, right? So we'll have to elk that one next turn. I think we have to elk that one. Gain exchange control of target artifact or creature you control, target creature opponent controls. Yeah, no, so I think I'm just going to get rid of the Mystic Forge. And then pass the turn. And then my Oko will take a hit, or I'll take a hit, and then my food token can trade with it. It'd be great if we could stop throwing spells, my man. Okay, so you get protection for a turn. It's fine. That doesn't do anything, I don't think. Opponent attacks Oko. Top decking an Oath here would be dope. No. I'm going to elk my food token and pass. I've got protection, so there's no point in attacking, and I want to protect my Oko, so there's still no point in attacking. I should have played my Lotus this turn, because that would have given me another thing to elk. Maximally punished for it as well. Jesus Christ, Josh. If I lose this game where I've resolved another one, I'd be very displeased. Play another workshop. And a Grim Monolith. And Opal. So I guess it's Island Otawara is what our opponent's currently drawing towards. You can't attack, you just play the duel. Another land. Let's trade off the nerds. You have to block. And then I'll play Lotus and I'll stand up a food. I'll make a food, I think. Or I'll just make this. I'll make this an elk. So what have I got left? I've got, yeah, two drops in a bayou left. So opponent's got 9 mana. We could do with them bricking a lot. Urza's Saga. Urza's Saga is not the end of the world when they can't do anything with it. I haven't used my brainstorm, so I'm going to fetch once just to get some lands out of our deck. I've only got 1 fetchable left after this, since the bayou. We are going to get a duel this turn. So let's do that first of all. So I get 3 cards. Oath of Druids and Citadel. So Oath of Druids isn't awful. Actually, it is, because I'd lose the duel now. So let's just, yeah. So we'll fetch, get Bayou. Come on, Modo, keep up. And I'm going to cast a house. And I don't think I've made a land drop yet. No, I've not. So what can I DT for here? Okay. DT for walk, if I can't get to 2 mana. So DT for mystical. And I can just put a Force of Will in my hand and that'll ice this completely. Mindbreak Trap I don't really want, so I'll play my land and fetch. I've got no fetchables. Okay, cool. There's a Force of Will on top of my deck. Oko will elk the Coveted Jewel. So now I both can't lose the Coveted Jewel. And I can't get attacked. So Urza's Saga takes up to chapter 2. And they've had enough. They're over it. That's pretty cool. So I think that's 5 and 2. Yeah, round 7. We're 5 and 2. I don't think we're playing for anything. Yeah, no. If I'm down in 40th position, I'm clearly not going to be the 5-2 that breakers in. I've already said my loss is too early, but I did take 1 to Duke, so I assume that my breakers are fantastic. And then we're playing for the X and 2 set. So see you for the final round, Pete.
Okie dokie, final round. We're up against Testacula, and most recently seen on Jewel Shops. So apologies last round if I sounded like shit. I forgot to plug my microphone back in. So, most recently seen on Dual Shops, we've won a die roll. I would like to play first, thank you. Force. No blue. Is this good enough to keep? I think it has to be. Force against the fast combo deck. I might just go Emerald Go. Because if I only have to use one force, right, and I draw a land, I can Mystical for flash or Mystical for show. Or so maybe I do play both lands. I don't know. I could just pass. No, I think I'll play the Emerald. I don't think I'll play the Boseiju. I think the Boseiju's got better text elsewhere. This is when they like play Bazaar or some shit and I just lose. But they've been on duel for a while. So Mishra's Workshop. And untaps. Mox Sapphire, okay. Mox Jet is probably going to be fine. So I'm just skewing around on the other screen to find their deck. Okay, Mox Jet. Mana Crypt. Looks like it's going to be a Force game. Grim Monolith is fine. Sensei's top, I will misstep. Trinosphere, I will force. And I'll pitch a Traxxer at this point. Trinosphere. Cool, okay. Here we go. Time to find some lands. So no Druids. It doesn't really do anything for us at this point, so I'm just going to pass again. The reason I'm holding the Boseiju is that it says destroy target artifact on it. I think it could come up against the artifact combo deck. I've already got green mana, I don't need to worry about discarding green mana sort of thing. Urza's Saga is an issue, but we do have this Boseiju. So, the opponent passes back. So I can just roll out the Oath to counter the Saga if I want to. Huh. Do I just roll out the Oath or do I just Boseiju the Saga? That's really interesting. So I think I'm just going to Boseiju the Saga on their turn. And I think I'll draw step it so that they can draw their island first. Okay. And I'm going to draw step, Boseiju your Saga. They float a mana. They untap it and let it die. Okay. They get their snow covered island, they didn't draw it. Let's see what they've got here. So it looks like a jewel. So I'm kind of forced to counter that. And then it's your last card, PO. It's a Barlin's Tomb, which is an ancient tomb when it's at home. So Oath, Orchard. Underground Sea. Do you play out the Oath here? I don't see why not. We're both top decking here. They already know I'm on Oath because I pitched an Atraxa. I'm going to untap their Monolith. And the advantage of this, of playing the Oath here, is I now don't have to click through. Looks like they've drawn something. You just top deck another jewel? No, the One Ring. Gross. we need an orchard roughly right here, right now. That is a long way from an orchard. So the thing I think here is that they now have to absolutely go off the time vault key, right? They can't saga me, but I'm not going to be able to keep up this one ring without an orchard last turn. It sure is a lot of mana. What the fuck is this? Oh, Seagate Restoration. Sure. Oh, Paradox Outcome, right. We just taps all our lands. Okay, so we once again lose game 1 against Dual Shops. We lost game 1 last time. So we can do it again. Should be fine. I might have lost due to my Beseiju. My usage of Beseiju. I could have rolled out the Oath against the Saga and then they can't do anything, but then they tutor for like a Soul Ring or some shit. I don't know. I don't think I was ever winning, actually. Without drawing the Orchard, I don't think I was winning. The Keep might have been a mulligan because I didn't have that blue mana that we needed to win with. Yeah, so let's go to the next game. You got it, buddy. You got it. Right, so what did we do? We did Trap, 2 Norods, 2 Vigors, 2 Thoughtseize. And then we dropped, I did all the Show and Tells. And some other cards. An Island. A Flusterstorm. And a Mental Misstep. Cool, let's get back in there then. Okay, and I've opted to play first. Oh, opted to draw. Good grief, no. I have opted to play. And what have we got here? Soul Ring into Vigor You. The Thoughtseize into Vigor You. I mean, this is similar to last time, right? Where I'm like interactive but lacking interaction. Or lacking action, sorry. Thoughtseize, Vigor You. I kind of don't know. I've got my mana under me. I'm going to keep it. So we will Thoughtseize. Lotus, Force of Us, Saga, the One Ring. I'm just going to take the One Ring here. And then I'll nuke their board at the end of their next turn. I'm not sure about this keep, guys, but I don't know. It does something. It has something. It's going to send them back to the Stone Age at some point. Oh yeah, I've got to draw Step Stop, sorry. Oops. So Saga comes in. I'm not going to Bink in response to the Saga because we know they've got a second land in hand. Sol Ring comes in. And then Grim Monolith comes in. Lotus. Did you top deck a jewel? Don't be serious. Graph Digger's Cage. Okay. So Saga Force of Will is their hand. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Bink Saga Cage here. So do I have any reason to? No, I can do that on their upkeep, depending on what I draw. Ponder. So we'll play a land. We'll cast Ponder. Okay. Okay, so in your upkeep, I'm going to force of will your Saga in your Grafdigger's Cage. Yeah, so I'm going to put back Atraxa, Tinker, Lotus. Nope. And I'll cast the Lotus. And now I'm going to hardcast a Force of Vigor on their upkeep. Oh, they've got fucking Black Lotus. Oh well. So we'll cast this and we'll target this one and this one. I think that'll make them use their Force of Will. Yep. So that gets rid of the Force of Will. They play a Manifold Key and a second Saga. Untap the Grim Monolith. So I draw Tinker for the turn. And I can Tinker for Null Rod. I could Tinker for House. That gives them another turn, so I'm just going to get the Rod. I'll play my Orchard. If I draw a land, I'll be able to hardcast Vigor. If I don't draw a land, then I've drawn a spell. So, let's see where this takes us. The Saga's going to die. They float a mana with that one. And search that Pithing Needle, naming Boseiju or Oko, I imagine. Oko Thief of Crowns, cool. And do you draw a mana producing land this turn? No. So our turn, we draw Atraxa Grand Unifier, which is a green card at the very least, so we'll pass back. Maybe I wanted to Vigor here in case... No, because it's dying, isn't it? Yeah. It's dying and I can Vigor whatever they get. So we're in a similar spot to last game, or last round. Oh my gosh. Coated Jewel. Okay. That's brutal. What a brutal draw. Academy is certainly enough to get them out of this. Ancestral as well. Ugh. Emerald. Yeah. Bang on time. So back to the opponent. Oh, how exceptionally frustrating this is. 5 cards in hand, a quadrillion mana. It depends on what their kill condition is, I guess. Because it's still difficult for them to get anywhere if I've got a Null Rod in hand. They can Otawara it, I guess. So they're going to play another Jewel. I don't think I can fight the Jewels on the way down at this point. I just need to top deck my Strip Mine or another Boseiju, or one of my 2 Boseijus. So Opal comes down. As the Saga comes down. And that might be something that I have to then Vigor next turn, depending on what I draw. Well, not depending on what I draw at all. I need to Vigor it next turn. But like, say I top deck a Flash, I'd Flash in Atraxa in a heartbeat. Ancestral. I'm going to Ancestral myself. I have to get back into this game. And if they counter this, I can probably resolve my Vigor. So they're going to counter it pitching PO. Right, do I want to counter this back? That's a very difficult question for me right now. Oh god. Brutal spot. They got 3 cards in hand. I think that can go. We just use that to push through our Vigor. So upkeep, we're going to Vigor the Saga. Target Saga. Target Needle. Target Needle. So you have 2 pieces of permission. No, okay. I don't know if Needle or Cage is better there. Maybe it's supposed to be Cage, so I got 4 Oaths and no, and 3 Okos. I just don't know. Oh god. Why did they have to make this game so hard? Why couldn't they just have just fucking died to the Null Rod, you know? Okay, so 12 mana. Ugh. Another Jewel. Yeah. Not convinced with how I played this turn. Or at least this turn has had a few decisions. Do I force through that Ancestral? Or do I hold the Atraxa to Vigor? Or am I supposed to Vigor pitching Atraxa and see if they force me? So you get a Wandering, so you get a bit of protection. Okay. Draw step. Atraxa Grand Unifier. So I've got another counter piece of permission. And they're just drawing towards their Otawara every turn. Okay. I'm just so low on resources. I can flash through an Atraxa. So this is a Metamorph. I imagine copying the coveted Jewel. Yeah. Okay. 6 cards in hand for the opponent. We've been through 2 of their Force of Wills. Another Metamorph. I'm just going to let them go at it, I think. We've been through 3 Sagas. So what does that mean? That means 1 Saga and Khan the Great Creator. Are there 2 remaining kill cons, plus possibly a kitten. So 14 blue mana enters the pool with Academy. And they've got the Otawara as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15. It puts them down to 11 cards in deck, but I'm sure they can kill me. So I'll fight back, but I imagine it's not getting through. We'll see. See what they come with. Force of Will pitching another PO. You could have just paid for the PO, but I paid for the Force of Will, and then that would have covered their next PO as well. So opponent's got 12 cards in deck, 32 cards in hand. There's the Otawara. Let's die, depressingly. It is quite frustrating. I don't know. I could have gone for the house on the Tinker. I could have tried to force through my Force of Will. Force through my Ancestral Recall. Then I was coming off my green card for Vigor. And I felt like I had to kill the Saga that turn, otherwise I was just going to die to the tokens. Or maybe that's not true. Maybe I'm able to let the Saga tick up. I know they can't get anything relevant. I am going to make my opponent play this out. It's not going to be very interesting. No, they can't have less than 4 Sagas, can they? No. Okay. So they got infinite turns. We lose the last round from the X and 2, which gets the set. They get a Khan. And then they lattice me, I imagine. Wormcoil Engine, sure. Did they take an extra turn? I never saw them do that. I imagine they did. Yeah, thanks for watching, I guess. I'm a bit annoyed about this one. I'm not sure about this opening hand. I know I've had some questionable plays throughout the tournament, but yeah, I feel like I could have done better. So, yeah, right. Thanks for watching. See you again.